tell you, it's been a life changer for me. I'm 49 years old, about to be 50. I still train like a maniac. A couple of years ago, I was really slow to get out of bed. I didn't want to be living on Advil just to keep training. And I was introduced to red light therapy, and I didn't believe it. I thought it was kind of kooky. It makes no sense. It looks like a tanning bed. I couldn't believe what it was like. I mean, it's like Advil on a bed. Welcome back to another episode of the Aging Backward, Growing Forward podcast. Today's topic, we're going to talk about red light therapy, also known as photobiomodulation. Photobiomodulation, red light therapy, we're going to call it that for short. Some people refer to it as RLT, by the way. It's gaining huge in popularity right now in the wellness space and the anti-aging space, just because of all the wonderful benefits. I want to get into a little bit of the weeds on this one because I really love this. This has been part of my regimen for the past year or so. It got real popular early on because of the benefits for skin. Actually, you'll see face lamps that have red lights on them, and they're awesome, by the way. And it stimulates collagen, elastin. It helps reduce wrinkles, fine lines. I mean, it does a lot of wonderful things. We actually use them in our anti-aging centers, mostly post-procedure when we do like Botox or filler or any type of skin procedure, because it helps with the inflammation as well for the skin. So how it helps with inflammation is it reduces the pro-inflammatory cytokines and the inflammation markers. It offers pain management and recovery benefits that are just so incredible from that process. I'll tell you, it's been a life changer for me. Just getting out of the bed in the morning. I mean, as you guys know, I'm 49 years old, about to be 50. I still train like a maniac. I had noticed a couple of years ago, I was really slow to get out of bed. And I mean, like, it would take me like a solid 30 seconds just to sit upright, and not like, because of all the aches and the pains and the noise my body would make. And I was introduced to red light therapy at a trade show, at an anti-aging show. And I didn't believe it. I thought it was kind of kooky. It makes no sense. It looks like a tanning bed. By the way, it's not a tanning bed. It will not hurt your skin. There's all kinds of FDA approvals on the better companies. We'll talk about that in a minute. But when I was told to do this, and I was told to do it on a protocol, multiple sessions, multiple times, I couldn't believe what it was like. I mean, it's like Advil on a bed. Like, like a lot of people will take medications or over-the-counter stuff for anti-inflammation. I'm kind of against that. Most of you probably know why. If I don't have to put, an extra pill in my body outside of all the nutraceuticals I take, I try not to. So I didn't want to be living on Advil just to keep training. So this process, this protocol was a game changer for me. And I've got all the other benefits from it, by the way, in the meantime, that we're going to talk about. But the inflammation one was the number one reason why I adopted this into my personal protocols. I'm on a red light bed at least 3 to 4 days a week. It's a 40-minute session for me, 20 and 20, flip over. Some people, if they have an area that's just really bothering them, their hip, their knee, you just stay on that side. And one thing to know about red light therapy, you'll see a lot of places they have like these hanging lamps or these light bulbs. It's all about proximity, guys. So understand this. Like, you have to get on a bed or and these aren't inexpensive pieces of equipment, by the way. And like we have them in our centers, and they are an expensive piece of equipment, but it's because that is how it needs to be done. That's how you get the most power out of these machines. And it's about proximity. So you got to be skin to skin, right? So you're going to be in there in the all together, or at least, or maybe in a bathing suit or something, but you want to be skin to skin to get all these benefits. So the pain management part of this is huge. I could tell you personally, I've experienced it. I've done it. I always try to speak from my own personal experience for facts that I speak about. It's a game changer. One side story. When they were installing the first bed at our first center at Serotonin, the CEO of the company came out for the installation of the company that we use. And he said, "Hey," because I got to get out of here. I got to catch a plane. I'm going up to the airport. I'm going to Newark. And I was like, "Oh, I'm from New Jersey." I'm like, what are you going to do up there? And he was going to bring a bed to one of the athletes from the New York Giants, who now is on their website, by the way, which is awesome. He got a testimonial from him, and I'm really happy he did, because it actually was part of his protocol recovery when he hurt his knee. They put him in a red light therapy bed as part of his physical therapy rehab, and it was. I mean, he acknowledges it himself. It was very helpful. So I will tell you, injuries, inflammation, a great tool to put in your toolbox. So moving along to some of the other incredible things that this does, let's talk about ATP production. It accelerates the recovery by increasing the ATP production. It enhances the synthesis, contributing to a faster recovery from injuries. So that's kind of cool, like just in of itself. Like what's happening in your body when you're laying on this bed, and I'll give you a side note to that as well. It's kind of known that it helps with your blood circulation as well, because some people experience a reduction in blood pressure, and it's because it unbinds bound nitric oxide. So that's kind of cool. So you talk about performance in athletes, and I think we've spoken previously on another podcast about the benefit of nitric oxide for your body's ability to improve performance, because you get to absorb, utilize more oxygen. So if you have more of this nitric oxide floating around in your bloodstream, it's obviously better, and that also has a softening effect on your arteries. I actually personally manage my own blood pressure through nitric oxide release. So I use beet juice extracts. I use L-arginine, which helps release nitric oxide. So interestingly enough, red light therapy has a very similar effect as well. So you will notice an increase in energy levels when you're doing red light therapy. And the reason is because it's enhancing mitochondrial function, and it's promoting energy production in your cells. I mean, it's an incredible kind of side effect of doing this. It's not like you're going to be buzzing around the room like you're on caffeine, but you will notice a performance improvement when you're doing red light therapy too. Red light therapy also is known to improve sleep. And as we've talked about, we had Dr. Mitra sitting on, and we talked about it, sleep quality and how important sleep is. And it's been linked to better sleep patterns, and it's possibly due to the influence it has on your circadian rhythms. So, I mean, anything you can do to hack sleep, I'm always a fan of, and I'm always going to say, hey, get after it. Another great benefit for red light therapy is it enhances cognitive function. And some studies suggest that red light therapy improves cognitive function just by increasing cerebral blood flow. I mean, it's kind of cool when you think about that. Any way we can get a hack on our brain, we want to take advantage of it. Again, these aren't things you're going to see overnight. One thing about red light therapy, it is a very compounding effect result. You've got to do this consistency over and over again. You want to be on a protocol of doing this 2 to 3 times a week. If you have an injury, you may be on it every day. If you're really sore, you may increase that frequency as well. But if you're just on hey, I want to just get some of these other benefits, improve sleep, or I want to get the brain function, like you maybe you do it once or twice a week. But I will tell you, as I said earlier, one of my favorite anti-aging body hacks, brain hacks, it's done so much for me personally. When I have an issue with my lower back, I hurt myself years and years ago, heavy squatting, the whole 9 yards, leg pressing. It's really put that injury in check for me and allowing me to continue to train the way I train and do some of the things I do. Even if I know I'm going to travel and I'm going places and I'm doing things, I'll always increase the frequency of red light before and, of course, after. I'm going to be on a long flight, got to go to the other side of the country this week. I'll make sure I red light, prior to leaving in the morning for my flight. And as soon as I get back, I'll do it as well. Unfortunately, where I'm going, I don't think there's availability, but I'll deal with it for a couple of days. Just some things to remember when you're doing red light therapy. Wherever you go, just make sure it's an FDA-approved device that you're going on, and ask questions. Make sure there's consult the professionals, the medical professionals, if they're available. And the device you're using is very impactful to the outcome. So just make sure it's one of the best ones that are out there. I know the ones that we use at Serotonin. We've researched the heck out of these, and we chose the one we use for a specific reason. So continue to send those questions on these types of topics. I mean, this whole podcast came out of people inquiring because they see my Instagram. I always post pictures, when I'm in the red light bed, because it's a fun picture, because the whole room is red. It looks really cool. But I do it because I want people to know, hey, this is part of what I do. It's not just, working out or, eating really well. It's all this other stuff. So I want people to understand that if you see something that you want more information on, send it in a DM, shoot us an email. I always try to get to all of them, and we read them, and it curates these podcasts for you. Our goal is just to continue to help improve your health optimization, your longevity, whatever's going to make you look and feel better. That's just our goal here. With that said, I hope this episode gave you some more valuable information, something you could add to your arsenal for your own personal health optimization. As you know, my goal here is to improve longevity, health span, and get you to be the most optimized human you possibly can. I hope you come back, continue to watch our show, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Aging Backward, Growing Forward.